Muito bem, queridos, sejam
Very
todos
well,
muito
dear
bem-vindos a mais
friends. Welcome to
vídeo
one more
desse canal.
video of this
E hoje nós
channel.
trazemos tema
And today we're
muito
bringing you a
importante,
very
as
important
doutrinas
topic,
de homens
the
e o
doctrines of man and the
neofarisaísmo.
new
Queremos abordar
Pharisaism.
aqui a questão do problema
We
dos
want to address
pecados,
here the
que,
issue of
segundo
sin,
Jesus, é uma
that
questão de
according to
natureza
Jesus
orgânica,
is an
interior, é
issue
problema de
that is
coração, é
organic,
problema
it
de
is
consciência,
interior,
é
it is
problema
a
de alma. Ao
conscience
contrário do que muitos
and
desejam,
soul
o pecado
issue.
não é uma
Contrary to
questão de
what many
ordem
think,
meramente cultural,
sin is not
meramente de
based
ações ou
on
princípios
merely
exteriores
cultural
ao homem.
or
Eu quero
behavioral
mostrar tudo para
aspects.
vocês
I want
à
to
luz
show
da
you all
Bíblia
of this
Sagrada. Venham
based
comigo,
on
porque
the
nós
Holy
seremos
Bible. Come with me because we'll be
edificados. Este é o seu
greatly
canal Via
edified.
Verdade.
This
E
is
eu sou
your
Alexandre
What is the
Rodrigues,
Truth
um
channel,
mero
and I am
mortal,
Alexandre Rodrigues, a mere
eternamente em
mortal,
busca
eternally in
da
search of the
verdade.
truth.
Já chega deixando seu like. Se você ainda não é inscrito,
Like this video if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, activate the notifications, and leave your comments below.
muito bem, queridos.
Very well,
Doutrinas de homens e
friends.
neofarisaísmo.
Doctrines of man and new Pharisaism. Today's theme is based on Mark chapter 7, the same text that we used in the previous video, but today we want to explore a little more of this text once it teaches us very deep and serious things that can define the way that we relate with God, with the gospel, which determines a Christian life that is according to the will of God. So the context we're going to work on describes an episode in which Jesus was with his disciples on a supper when some religious leaders from the Jewish religion questioned Jesus, saying, "Why do your disciples eat without washing their hands?" That is, why do they not walk according to the tradition of the ancient? Why don't they obey our rules, traditions, and doctrines? We know that this regards doctrines made by man. So leaders are always biased, inclined to creating doctrines that are merely human, so as to imprison people that are believers and have in their hearts a sincere desire to live according to the will of God. So this religious leadership not rarely tries to create a bondage to manipulate those that, according to the Bible, are sheep not of man but of Jesus. So when Jesus is questioned regarding their disciples, why they didn't follow these human doctrines, Jesus starts answering it. It is in Mark 7, and I will start in verse 15. There's nothing outside a person which can defile him if it goes into him, but the things which come out of the person are what defile the person. So Jesus points to the origin of all sorts of impurity and sin. He starts in a negative tense, saying, there's nothing outside a person which can defile him if it goes into him. So the problem of the heart contamination is not outside a man. It has nothing to do with the things he relates to, that he drinks or eats, or that he does. But the problem of sin is a problem that is interior. We should just read verse 18, and he said to them, "Are you so lacking in understanding as well?" And he was saying that to the disciples, because the very disciples of Jesus were scared when they heard this statement, because according to the Jewish tradition and culture, and they lived underneath the law of Moses. Especially when we read Leviticus, we notice that sin is always put as external things. Paul also said that in his epistle
quando ele diz claramente
in his second epistle to the Corinthians, when he said clearly that the law was external to man, but we should take into consideration that the law of Moses that pointed to external things was just shadows and figures that pointed to an inner reality that should be manifested later on with the coming of the Messiah, of Jesus. So Jesus said to his disciples, "Are you so lacking in understanding as well? Do you not understand that whatever goes into the person from outside cannot defile him?" These words of Jesus remain echoing to all Christians, even nowadays. Even you, in the year 2022, have you not understood? As we read in verse 19, because it does not go into his heart, but into his stomach, and is eliminated. So that which man receives from outside to his inside, that's just absorbed by the esophagus and by the stomach, and is just eliminated. So sin cannot be identified with anything that is outside man, because it is not part of the heart constitution and of the conscience. And in verse 20 we read, and he was saying, that which comes out of the person, that is what defiles a person. For from within, out of the hearts of people, come the evil thoughts, acts of sexual immorality, thefts, murders, acts of adultery, deeds of greed, wickedness, deceit, indecent behavior, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the person. So here we should understand that Jesus establishes a principle, a foundation, saying that the problem of sin is an issue that is organic, that comes from the conscience and of the heart. And this subject will be seen widely in the entire New Testament. And we read in Colossians 2, verses 20 onwards. If you have died with Christ to the elementary principles of the world, look at what Paul is saying. Why, as if you were living in the world, do you submit yourselves to decrees such as do not handle, do not taste, do not touch, in accordance with the commandments and teachings of men? These are matters which do have the appearance of wisdom in self-made religion and humility and severe treatment of the body, but are of no value against fleshly indulgence. It has no value to contain the impulse of a fallen conscience, the impulse of a heart that is deviated from God, that is evil, and that does not live to God and to the neighbor. And we also read in Hebrews 13, verse 9, do not be misled by varied and strange teachings. Do not be misled, for it is good for the heart to be strengthened by grace, not by foods, through which those who were so occupied were not benefited. So we clearly notice that this bunch of religious people try to lead Christians to live in a life based on appearance. And they preach these commandments that do not touch, do not do, do not taste. And you think it is true, but it's just a cover. It is just an external behavior, often led by their desire to live in heaven. But as we read in the text, these things have no use and no power to deal with the problem of the heart, which is where sin emerges. Jesus in Matthew chapter 23 verse 4 said, and they tie up heavy burdens and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as their finger. The objective of this video is to draw your attention to the fact that you should look inside and, with the help of the Holy Spirit, discern what is necessary, what must be changed in you according to the Spirit of truth. This has been one more video. Do not forget to subscribe, to activate the notifications, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. See you in the next video.